There are many who are walking in darkness, struggling with despair, struggling with isolation, struggling with various kinds of hurts in their life, and they do not know where to find hope. There are many vendors out there trying to offer hope to people. I was with someone just this past week who had lost a loved one. And in that conversation, as we were talking together, he said, "Do you really believe, now that my loved one has died, do you really believe that there is life after death?" Because I've been tempted when I have been unable to sleep, and I've turned on the television, and there's this 800 number of this person on the other end with whom I can talk, who will be able to assist me in hooking up with my dead wife so that she can speak to me. Huh? Is that stuff true? He asked me. And I said to him, "What do you think?" And he said, "No, I really think the person's a huckster out there to get my money, but I'd sure love to hear from my wife. Do you believe that the resurrection is true?" What is your answer? What is your answer to people who are wondering about this faith? Because there are many other places people are looking. Some people are turning to try to escape this life by medicating themselves with either medications they themselves have received that they keep asking their doctor to renew that subscription for that pain relief because they don't want to deal with their inner pains inside. Then there's those who search outside and look for illegal drugs to numb themselves, or alcohol to numb the pain within. There are those who want to hide from life. Those who are going through the pain of unemployment as it continues to drone on and on and on. For those who have gone through divorce and really question, who am I that this person couldn't even love me? This wasn't the dream of what our relationship is. And in the midst of those struggles, when the curtain of darkness and despair comes down, where do people turn to hope? You see, it's in these circumstances, my friends, in your neighborhoods, in mine, in your relationships, in mine, in your workplace, in mine, where God sends us to bear the light of Christ Jesus, to be His light. It's being a visible community. Jesus goes on to say, it's like a city on a hill. It can't be hid. Sometimes as I've come back from Minneapolis visiting my mom in the nursing home, coming back late at night on a Saturday night, and I'm coming across Wisconsin, which has some significant areas where there is not much light, where it's very dark, where you can see the stars at night, if you know what I'm talking about. And you come up to a place like Madison, and you see it in the distance. And on a clear night, you notice how that city's lights begin to shine, don't you? All of a sudden, you look in the distance, and you can see that glow, because there is that lights that are shooting up. And that's what Christ is talking about. A city on a hill can't be hid. And in the same way, we are not to hide the light of Christ within. This past week, I'm pleased to tell you of a couple of stories, examples here where grace has been a city on a hill, where we've been a light. We talk about these examples many times, but this past week, I'll share two. One was on Wednesday when Big Band Dance took place, an example of which I don't often lift up. Big Band Dance. A lot of people who are a little older than me coming out to eat food, to listen to music, to get up and make some moves, and then sit down and rest and watch others make some moves. A time of socialization, a time of laughter, a time of eating and drinking and feeling cared about. And here's how grace has functioned like a city on a hill. We don't charge much. People really come for pennies to eat a good meal that's served up lovingly by volunteers who do this stuff, driving some distance, coming in the cold, welcoming people, most of whom are not a part of this grace community, but because of a vision and a commitment that everybody matters, no matter what our age is, that we should be able to have fun, to have something to look forward to. These volunteers who work long and hard, greet people, serve people as if they're kings and queens, play music that people enjoy listening to as they remember when this music used to be played in their life, and folks have fun. And I want to say that simply by those kinds of actions, for those volunteers and for the hospitality that is demonstrated, that's being a city on a hill. It's being the light of the world. Another example happened this past week when a young 27-year-old man on my block, on Grand Avenue, where I have been meeting our neighbors for 2 years, died from a heroin overdose. And the family is very abundantly open to not want to hide the darkness and the evil of illegal drugs and the fact that they kill. And in this young man's life, who battled with drugs for about 10 years, it was a sad reality. But you know what? In the midst of that time, there was a time where he experienced the power of faith when he was clean down in Oregon. And a church embraced him, and he was involved in some of their programs together with other adults, sharing stories of life and sharing the gospel with kids in the community. And also serving up in the sound booth on Sunday mornings. But when the time came that he moved back in, more problems came back, and he fell back into his addictive ways. That, my friends, that addiction binds us and strips us of a future filled with hope. And Christ Jesus was demonstrated here at Grace very clearly, because the gospel of Christ is talking about giving away the faith, demonstrating the faith, the love of Christ Jesus in unconditional ways, demonstrating Jesus' love, not judgmentally, but unconditionally, and doing it in practical ways. So as family, as friends, as addicts, as young people, as those who have experienced a clean life from their addictive behaviors, came in to celebrate this young man's life,